Wish I never met you. 'Cause now I can't forget you. And if I had one wish, I don't know if I'd wish you away or wish you back here to stay with me.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Boy Meets Girl. I'm Jessica Garrett Modkins.
And I am Roy.
Mr. Modkins.
Mr.
Modkins. How are you doing?
Good. How about yourself? It's good to see you.
Good to be seen. Waiting for my trip to Vegas.
Vegas.
Yes, you owe me a trip to Vegas.
Lord have mercy. Because sometimes you gotta allow the past to be the past.
Oh no, we talked about this.
Never look back.
We talked about this.
We did.
I said you owe me a trip. You said yes, I do. And then I said, let's go see Usher.
You ain't gonna be up on the stage like a girl.
I might.
With no clothes on.
I might.
On the stage.
I might.
With Ursha.
I might.
Up to your shoulder.
I might. And you'll be on the stage with me. That's the difference.
That's the
difference.
You gonna get your little behind.
Usher was in love with Brandy. That's who Usher was in love with.
I'm gonna tell you what he ain't gonna be doing. He ain't gonna be talking about you call me US.
Tunde, what you gonna do?
That's what Usher ain't gonna be doing. Okay. Okay. Now I like your music, but you can't like my wife.
So this is a show about the Black love experience.
Yes. And
it just chronicles what Black love is in all aspects of being a parent,
yes,
a caregiver, a sister, a brother, a father, a wife, a mother, a husband.
A brother.
Yeah, a brother.
A friend.
A friend. Absolutely a friend. Absolutely a friend. Do you know that I think that many times we forget that in love does not stop the word no. It doesn't mean that you don't love someone to tell them no.
100%.
I think
that works. Oof.
I think sometimes we forget that as adults communicating with adults,
right.
We forget that because it's easy to do that to a child.
Right.
But to be authentic within yourself and tell another adult no, you almost have to be brave.
Listen, sometimes asking a question and not wanting to hear
the answer
and hear the answer, that takes bravery. Like I've had some situations or things in my mind where I was like, oh, I want to ask my wife this. But if she says no,
like, do you really want a real answer?
Really want the answer. And I remember vividly knowing God told us to move to, or told me to move my family to Florida. And I kept thinking, now what if my wife says no?
That's fair because I moved from here. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the interesting part. Knowing God has told you something, and you're more concerned about what your wife is going to say, or your spouse.
Or your spouse is going
to say.
That's heavy.
That's heavy. Now, fortunate for us, or fortunately, if that's the right word, you did not blink an eyelash when I told you.
Well, first, I am just a child of God.
Yes.
And I am very faithful in Him telling me things to do.
Right.
And being on the outskirts.
Right.
Not feeling like I'm included because of the journey that He has me on is very isolated. And I understand that. Right. So when you said it, I trust Him enough that if it was the wrong decision, that He still would catch us.
Actually, Boy Meets Girl is a result of us moving.
Why? Why you say that?
Because we were obedient to what he told us to do. He told us to move. And then when I came to you and said, hey, God's telling me to tell you or tell our family to move, you were like, okay, this show has been a result of our journey.
Oh, okay.
When we moved here, we started thriving professionally, personally, individually, as parents, as a husband, we started growing and thriving. And so I guess ultimately, the blessings and the obedience, ultimately, we are very fortunate. However, we're obedient.
We were obedient, and although success looks nice, it's not always pretty, and it's not easy.
We don't talk about the move.
Which part of the move?
Ooh, the whole part of the move.
Well, I'm just gonna say this because this is so on my heart. We had a house in Atlanta, and everything that it took to move out of that house, I don't think I looked at the house. It might have been 2 years or so. Like I couldn't even stomach to look at where we had come from.
Because it meant something to you.
It meant something, and I didn't appreciate the experience of leaving.
Well, back to what you stated a second. It was part of your journey. And you knew what it took for you to get in that house. You knew what you endured while you were in that house. You knew what it took and what you endured when you were leaving that house, even though you knew there was something else down the road. There was, and I remember when we sold it, we told the family, like, we want the family, whoever moves in this house, I remember saying this, I want them to love this house as much as we love the house. So that's a story within itself.
Yeah.
That's just your journey, part of your journey.
Yeah. It was a lot of no's in that. No, you can't sell your own house.
Oh, Lord.
No, I'm not going to list it on MLS. You're not a realtor. No, you're not going to get that amount for the house.
Right.
All of it was lies.
But here's the interesting part, though. In our world, no's for us in a lot of ways means yes.
Unless God puts the brakes.
100%.
Yeah.
But we're not that type of couple where we are settled at no.
I don't like how that sounds. I know what you mean by it.
Yeah, but we don't accept it that.
But I don't like how it sounds. It doesn't come across as if with the true understanding of no. Because it almost reminds me of the Bible, because it completely contradicts what I said before, that being in love, you could say no.
Yeah.
And you have to accept no. But then you're saying, as a couple, we hear no and we're like, okay, well, let me go around the corner and get it done still.
Right.
And that's not what that means.
Right.
It's just about, to me, that those two statements that completely are polar opposite means using discernment. Because even when it's a yes, and even when the door is open, if you are really in tune with your partner, your mate, with God, you will not be settled. True. You won't be settled with it.
True.
We've met some couples and we were like,
True.
Won't be hanging out with them again.
True. Well, discernment.
Yeah.
Discernment.
Yeah.
Those are easy no's.
Those are no's, but
those are no's.
But they're yeses.
But are there different types of no's?
That's good.
You know,
yeah,
there's different types of no's.
There are some no's, not now.
Right.
And then there are some close the
door.
Yeah.
Don't look back.
Shut the door, lock it up, and you weren't coming back.
Right. Yeah.
So tell me, what was one of the favorite memories of the courting process with us and meeting? Because that's how we stopped the last show. We talked about
favorite part of the courting process.
Yeah.
You know what? this is about love, and I guess God is love, right? Mm-hmm. But I just remember vividly on how much you were in the midst of me calling myself courting you. Mm-hmm. And I tell you this, and I've told you this before, like you were my angel in that process. Like you brought me that word, you were feeding me that word. But we had a clear understanding of just being in agreement and just we were doing it together.
And I was going to say that it was fun. Yeah. It was very fun.
Yeah.
Splitting the slice of pizza, breaking down on the side of the road. I'm like, I'm going to get the gas. I'm going to get the water. By myself.
Yes.
And you were like, no, you're not.
No, yeah. You sitting there telling, I'm talking to me, there's a hole in the bucket there, Jessica. And you're like, well, I'm gonna plug the hole in the bucket there.
So we met, we touched on this last week. When we met, both of our cars were just raggedy. Just raggedy. But I loved my BMW and he loved his Mercedes. And that first time we actually got in a car together and drove to church, I think your door was falling off, right? It was your door that was falling off, but my windows, I thought it was my window.
Well, even one of my windows wasn't roll all the way up.
My windows wouldn't.
And your door, the panel on your door would always pop off.
I thought that was yours.
That was yours.
That was mine.
It kept popping off.
I remember when he walked me to my car at that party when we had the Von Dutch hats on. And all I could think of was, I'm just going to stand outside of this car. I'm not going to try to open the door. I'm just going to stand here.
You trying to hide stuff.
I'm going to stand. It was too soon.
Well, I was doing the same thing. Like, okay, all right, well, just don't walk to my car.
And he would call me and then he'll go, okay, I'm going to get out the phone. I'll be like, wow, he's getting out the phone quick. Little did I know, he didn't have no air conditioner.
Oh, in my car.
No air conditioner in his car. And so he was still trying to talk a little bit. But that ATL hot Atlanta,
let me tell you.
He was like, I couldn't wait to talk to you, but I got to get off the phone.
I was about to sweat my perm out.
Yeah.
It was so hot.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, the heat is disrespectful.
Mm-hmm. My favorite part of the courting process, I want to say, was when we were in church and the electric shock went through my body. That was an immediate answer. It was 3 days after I put my offering in that I met you. And then that was Wednesday. Oh, wow. That was Wednesday.
Yeah,
that was 3 days.
3 days later.
Wow.
3 days.
It was 3 days.
But I'm going to tell you this. So let me, if you don't, I want to add some stuff if you don't mind. We were committed to our decision early on. Like we just 3 days later, we never departed.
No.
3 weeks later, or as you would say, 2 weeks.
I think it was 2 because you went home. I want to say was it your mom's birthday?
Yes.
And when you came back,
I remember carrying a picture of you home, showing it to friends. But I think the thing is whether it was 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's
irrelevant. We were committed to it. Like we just knew. And I think that's the thing about our relationship. Like we know when we know. I always tell people, don't take all day long to recognize sunshine. Like we knew. And even to this day, like whether it's decisions on our business or decisions on doing this or decisions on our children or our home or anything, we know when we know. Like we knew and we committed to it. And I think that part was like, for me, a first of somebody like going, hey, I'm okay with you as you are.
The power of agreement.
The power of agreement. And I think that part that I was like, I had not met somebody who just was like, I got you. Like you date people and meet people and all these things. But for somebody to, in a short period of time, like, no matter what's going on, I got you. I remember you telling me like, hey, we're going to get him. I remember.
Oh, the first argument.
Ooh, we got in this argument. I call myself packing my little bag. I would come over and stay overnight or whatever. And I call myself leaving. I'll never forget, you're sitting on those little peach leather couches you had.
Yeah.
And you turned around and called me Roy. And you said, Roy.
I said the name right.
You said this will not be the first or the last time we have a disagreement. But if you leave, don't come back because we ain't practicing this.
Yeah, we're not practicing being in a disagreement and then getting back together. We're not going to practice that. And I learned that at church. It was like early on, you have to put boundaries around your relationship and understand that you have to do everything in love. You're not going to always get along, and that's okay. And plus, we talked about this also. My love language is not words of affirmation. So I can have a healthy discussion and still say, okay, what are we going to have for dinner? Where are we going to go? What are we doing later on?
You've done that.
That is in the past. We're done disagreeing about whatever that is. Let's keep going. Let's move on. So I knew that at that pivotal moment, that would either confirm that you were in agreement with God's word, that you were my husband, or it wasn't time. Yeah.
Right. We were committed, though. I think that was refreshing for me.
And so he did not go anywhere.
No, I had a little stank attitude now when I was walking.
I think it was all about McDonald's too.
No, I don't know. It was that.
It happened in the McDonald's drive-through line.
Let's say that for another story.
Okay. Well, you brought it up.
I know. Just
okay.
The commitment, the process of the best part of that was the commitment to, hey, we're gonna build this together,
right?
And we're gonna stick with this, and this is what we're going, and we're gonna be even disciplined about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that to me was probably my favorite part of it. Because even now, it's the same thing. It has not changed. We've been very consistent about, okay, we're going to do this. We're in agreement.
Right. It's always, are we in agreement about it?
Agreement. Right.
Are we in agreement?
And we keep it moving.
Some things have happened and we weren't in agreement. And we can talk about that next week. What happened?
One thing that I do know, we still here.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Ain't going nowhere.
Ain't going nowhere but to Vegas to see Usher. You all will come with us.
I'll be on stage.
We'll see you next week for another edition of Boy Meets Girl. Let us know what was your memorable moment of courtship. Yeah. Ship, not hood.
I wish I never met you, 'cause now I can't forget you.